ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
A championship stripped and serious sanctions handed down. The CIF has delivered a major blow to Coronado High School following that tortilla throwing incident that happened after the boys basketball championship game. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Steve Atkinson.
And I'm Kimberly Hunt. Tonight, strong emotions from both communities at the center of the incident. And our team coverage begins with ABC 10 News reporter Anthony Pura. He's at Coronado High School, where many are shocked and unhappy with the CIF's punishment.
People we've spoken with say the CIF sanctions are just too harsh. They say that taking the championship away from a team that's worked so hard is simply unfair. It was quiet outside Coronado High School Wednesday when the CIF decided to hand down a series of sanctions following this incident from June 19th, after the Coronado High School boys basketball team beat Glen High in the championship game. Tortillas were seen thrown from the Coronado side towards the Glen players. The CIF said there is no doubt the act of throwing tortillas at a predominantly Latino team is unacceptable and warrants sanctions. Those sanctions, Coronado's boys basketball team will have to vacate its championship title. Coronado High School will be on probation for the next 3 school years. The men's basketball team cannot hold a postseason for the next 2 seasons. All teams cannot hold postseason contests in section, regional, or state levels until Coronado High administrators, coaches, and student athletes complete a sportsmanship workshop.
I think it was an unjustified verdict.
Paul Lull was at the game and witnessed the tortilla incident. He says he doesn't believe the CIF did a thorough investigation into what happened, and he is sticking by the Coronado team. Parents and others from the community also echoed their disapproval about the CIF's decision. Some called it shameful and unfair. The Coronado Unified School District released a statement that said in part, "We are currently reviewing the decision and will evaluate a possible appeal. We have also retained an outside investigator to thoroughly review the incident, which will guide any additional corrective actions."
This is not a racial incident. This had nothing to do with the Coronado Highlanders boys basketball team. It had to do with a gentleman in town here that brought tortillas.
The tortillas were brought by Luke Cerna, who told ABC 10 News last week he graduated from Coronado High in 1999 and went to UC Santa Barbara, where tortilla tossing is a tradition. He says he brought them to be used in a celebratory action. ABC 10 News reached out to him after the CIF issued the sanctions. Cerna responded in a text saying, simply put, injustice. In Coronado, Anthony Pura, ABC 10 News.
And our team coverage continues tonight with our ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala in Escondido, where Glen parents say that CIF decision was the right one.
The strong ruling by the CIF is something some Glen parents tell us they hoped for, but didn't expect.
All I can say is, it was the great decision they did today, and I'm happy. I'm super happy. All the parents are happy.
Glen High parent Jose Martinez applauding the CIF's decision to strip Coronado High of its Division Regional Basketball Championship after tortillas were hurled at the Glen team. Martinez says the incident was offensive and disrespectful to his son and the entire team.
They gotta pay the price. They did something stupid. They're not kids, they're already teenagers.
Parent Mickey Chu, who had been calling on the CIF to take action, agrees.
Those tortillas were not a random object. This was a very racist act. Basketball is a team sport, and if individuals represent their team poorly, that's a reflection on the entire team.
Wednesday, the CIF said in a statement, there is no doubt the act of throwing tortillas at a predominantly Latino team is unacceptable and warrants sanctions. Chu hopes the CIF's ruling will ensure nothing like this happens to any other teams in the future.
Vacating the championship, I know, was something that the Coronado individuals held most dear to them, and I think that does send a strong message that racism won't be tolerated, let alone unsportsmanlike behavior.
If there's like a black mark there for 2021, then maybe it's something we all look to and say, this was taken away. It's something to remember.
Kate Titwa is the mother of an Glen player as well, and says overall, the Glen team should be commended on how they handled the situation.
They didn't cause a fight. They didn't pick up a tortilla and throw it back. They didn't even throw anything of theirs back. CIF earned my respect with what they did today. They really did, because I didn't expect it.
Reporting in Escondido, Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
And now to breaking news. Residents in a South LA neighborhood are reeling after a cache of illegal fireworks exploded on their street. 2.5 tons of illegal fireworks had just been seized from a home there earlier in the day, and they were taken away to be destroyed. Police say some were placed in a bomb squad truck as a precautionary measure when they exploded. No one was in the truck. At least 16 people were injured, including 9 police officers. Several cars and homes were also damaged. It's not yet known why the fireworks exploded. And a 14-year-old is in the hospital tonight after a firework exploded in his hand. He is suffering from major injuries to his hand and non-life-threatening injuries to his face. The teenager had to be airlifted to UC San Diego. He is expected to survive. Sheriff's deputies responded to the 911 call in the 500 block of North Santa Fe Avenue in Vista. The sheriff's bomb and arson unit are now investigating.
Comedian Bill Cosby is back home tonight after his sexual assault conviction was overturned this morning. Cosby had been accused by dozens of women, but was convicted in just one case. He served just under 3 years of his potentially 10-year sentence. A previous prosecutor promised not to charge Cosby, which led Cosby to speak freely about the accusations. It was that testimony which a later prosecutor eventually used to charge him. Today, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court judge ruled that was wrong. Cosby cannot be retried on those same charges. Among those reacting to the news is a longtime Fallbrook resident. She was one of the women who has accused Cosby of sexual assault. Our ABC 10 News reporter Michael Chin reveals why she's not devastated by this decision.
Bill Cosby no longer behind bars. His conviction overturned 3 years into a 10-year sentence.
Oh, I was shocked. I was just totally surprised and taken unawares.
We last talked to Tamara Green in Fallbrook in 2014. Back in the late 60s, Green was in Hollywood with the dream of becoming an actress. She met Cosby, who took her under his wing. She says their relationship turned sour when she got sick one day and he gave her 2 capsules. Green says she started to feel weak and couldn't walk.
He had his hands all over me, his face all over me. I mean, I'm like... And, you know, I can't say that he raped me, but he sexually assaulted me in my own bed, in my own home, without my permission and totally against my will.
Afraid she wouldn't be believed, she didn't come forward until 2005 to support the other women accusing Cosby. Green, an attorney since the 80s, says she accepts the court's decision, pointing out he's free because of a procedural issue.
Bill Cosby was not acquitted of the crime with which he was charged. Nobody said he did not do this.
On this day, Green feels for the other accusers, but says she herself is not distraught.
If he were 35 years old and at the top of his game, and he did 3 years, that would irritate me, no question. But he's an 83-year-old man who did 3 years in prison in his 80s. That might be 50% of his life.
Green says she hopes Cosby won't waste his life as a free man.
And I hope that he has the good sense to do something good with his fame and his platform.
Michael Chen, ABC 10 News.
Green did move to Florida several years ago. She says she is hopeful that prosecutors will appeal the ruling all the way to the Supreme Court.
A person is in custody in connection to a stabbing in downtown San Diego today. Police say they responded to a call of a stabbing outside the St. Vincent de Paul Village Health Center on 15th Street. Police say the person had wounds to the upper torso and possibly the throat. They were taken to the hospital and their condition is unknown.
Britney Spears' father will remain her co-conservator. The judge denied the motion to remove Jamie Spears for now. This comes after Britney's testimony where she claimed the conservatorship was abusive. She said that her family traumatized her and forced her into a care facility against her will. Spears has been under conservatorship for more than a decade after suffering mental health issues in 2008. Jamie Spears has had control of his daughter's life and finances since then.
The Trump Organization and its longtime CFO, Alan Weisselberg, have been indicted by a Manhattan grand jury. The indictments will reportedly remain sealed until tomorrow. The charges reportedly center around allegations that Weisselberg and other Trump executives received benefits without reporting them on their tax returns. For now, Donald Trump himself is not expected to be charged, but prosecutors reportedly hope that Weisselberg will testify against the former president in exchange for leniency.
Former Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld has died at 88 years of age. He was the defense secretary for President Gerald Ford in the 1970s and President Bush in the early 2000s. During his time in the Bush administration, he oversaw the Iraq War and the war in Afghanistan. Rumsfeld was widely criticized for the war in Iraq, which was seen by some as having no clear strategy. Rumsfeld was inside the Pentagon on 9/11 when it was struck by a hijacked plane, killing 184 people. He rushed to help evacuate the injured until his security team begged him to go back inside.